So these visualization concepts, you are not able to what how the communities are divided in a group, what is the pattern, how they are connected, all these things, which layout has been which will layout will be useful for the application. For like it will be depends upon the number of edges and the nodes in a community. Okay, for less number of nodes, you can choose any one of the layout. For some different cases, you can choose some another layout. Okay, so what is the reason we are doing visualization? That also all we have discussed in yesterday's class, right? And what is the necessary to um, uh, visualize the data, that also we discussed. Okay, and we discussed about the matrix for matrix representation and the node edge diagram representation of a network. Okay, fine, that is also done. The next we are at the end of the second module, the last topic, the node edge diagram layouts. See, this is the basic 3 layout. Okay, apart from this, there are many other layouts also. You can also can design in different layout for a particular graph. Okay, it depends on, you have to do research on that. Okay, so why they are doing this layout and all, to have a clear understanding of a community, right? So random layout has been research designed by some research community, and force direct layout, it will be come out with the some other research community. So like that, not only these 3 things, there are many other layouts also there. Okay, so we'll see one by one and how they are useful, how much time it takes to visualize. You have discussed about not discussed, you very well know about the time complexity, right? When you take any data structure, abstract data type, okay, star q, you might have studied about the time complexity, right? Guys, my voice is audible, that I didn't ask. Guys, is it fine now? Okay, thank you. Yes, so okay, it depends upon the what number of nodes and edges, right? And and you've seen about the time complexity of a particular stack data type, particular queue data type. Okay, how much time it takes to execute an operation like that. We are also going to discuss when you choose random layout. When you choose random layout, how much time it takes to display visualize to the user, or force direct layout or tree layout, whatever the case. We have to think that angle also. Okay, in that direction also we have to choose which layout will be better. Okay, right. So first we are going to see the random layout. From the name itself, it's clearly told random. The nodes are spreaded across the plane. Okay, in some random fashion, right? Random layers is to put the nodes at random geometric location. That's what geometric location. Somewhere else, like it's sprinkled over the plane. Here we say it is a graph or plane, whatever it is. So it may not yield very clear visualization. If that is a drawback of this random layout. Okay, particularly when the number of nodes immensely increases. Okay, when the number of node increases, what happens? Obviously, the network gets congested. Okay, more number of nodes increases, automatically the nodes get congested, and you cannot able to visualize how many numbers are there in the community, right? Since a random layout algorithm can efficiently draw the social network graph in linear time, so we have seen the disadvantage is nodes get increases. We cannot able to visualize properly, but what is the advantage is the linear time. Based upon the linear time, when the number of node increases, it takes that much amount to display the visualization. Okay, this is the time complexity of the random layout. Okay, so it is mainly used for very large area, large network graphs, which will be this kind of layout will be helpful when compared to other type of layout. right? Okay. Let me check on. So random graphs have been proposed as a possible model. Okay, why it is proposed to take? It will take or account all the structural characteristics of instances. Instances is nothing but the node. Okay, all the this model, this layout can display the structural characteristics. Every structural characteristic we have studied structural characteristics as well. Okay, what is the centrality? What is the centrality measure of a node? Okay, all these things we have discussed many times. Okay, so it gives a clear picture on this for every practical application. So that is why it is widely used layout. Okay, so I'm telling about layout is nothing but a visualization. That's it. How, in which direction you are, in what way you are looking the nodes in a graph. So this is an example, just a small example. Look at here. Even though you can find here, even though there are some spaces here, right? Even though there are some spaces, some white spaces are there, this random layout cannot able to accommodate properly. Like see here, the nodes are get congested. This community, take this part of the community. Okay. So when node gets increases, okay, what happens ultimately that if it is a kind of dense graph, this random layout is not the possible choice. Okay, example, like no need to draw and all in the examination, just a small if it is descriptive type, just a small draw a small network, that's it. This is an example of random layout. Then we have another layout called force directed layout. Okay, this layout we have seen in the network X package. I've shown you once again if you want to check that also. The other name for force directed layout is called spring layout. This is the word I have used during that session, spring layout. Okay, so it is very much useful. It looks like a like it is working as a visually. Okay, every visualization is a kind of virtual system only, right? We are looking the Facebook network in virtual. Actually, you are looking the Facebook network in a particular tool. Okay, it gives a like a real kind of scenario, realistic physical system is appearing in front of you. So this forced layout is a kind of layout, okay, which simulates a graph as a virtual physical system. Okay, and the other name for force direct layout is spring layout. Okay, why? Then again we have to discuss about the advantage and disadvantage. What is the necessary? So even this force direct layout, I didn't discuss about the who are all designed this, which author has designed this force direct layout. I didn't showcase that and all. We are discussing on the what advantage and disadvantage. Here, the edges acts as a spring, and the nodes act as a repelling objects. In what way it is working? See, random layout, what just the nodes are get sprinkled over the plane. That's it. Wherever it can be, it can happen. Just you are sprinkling the nodes. That's it. And when you take different, there should be different force layout. How it is working? Okay, how the nodes are get visualized based upon this. Nodes acts as a spring, and nodes act as a repelling object, and edges act as a spring. Okay, this is another kind of law which resembles Hooke's law and Coulomb's law, where the force direct layout resembles like this kind of law. Okay, so there exists a gravitational attraction or magnetic repulsion between each node. Okay, so each and every between the two nodes, this gravitational force will. That is the reason we are calling it as a spring. You think of like a spring. Okay, some spring is there. Okay, the either end, right? So and like that, the force directed layout will work. Generally, an initial random layout will be yielded first. Okay, when you're applying for if you want to display what layout and force direct layout, how it will work. First of all, you have to know how to look. So how the algorithm works, that is what, right? It is a kind of algorithm where it is displaying the nodes and edges. So initially it will work on the random layout, just it sprinkles the nodes over the plane. Then what happens, the algorithm works, the force directed layout will run iteratively, okay, to adjust the position of nodes until all graph nodes and nodes between the adjacent nodes run to convergence, right? So once it won't directly come to force direct layout. First, it will what random layout will be done. After that, so iteratively, what happens? Iteratively in the sense for each and every node. For when you take 10 nodes are there, first node will work. First node will start. Okay. Then depends on the repulsive action, it adjusts itself to the particular position in a graph, in a plane. Okay. Then second node goes. How the second node is connected to other nodes, right? How the second node is connected to other nodes. So depends upon the other nodes, depends upon the repulsive action or the gravitational attraction. Okay. So attraction, the nodes itself gets to its a particular position in a plane, right? That's what meaning. So how it works, it's iteratively it happens for each and every node. So iteratively means what? Depends upon the number of nodes, right? If you're having 1000 nodes, 1000 times of 1000 iteration will happen. That's what this meaning. So force direct layout may take hundreds of iterations to obtain a stable layout. Okay, the running time is at least minimum. You know about worst case and all, worst case, best case, and average case. Okay, always we will say about the worst case only. Okay, here for force directed layout, it requires the minimum running time is what? Order of n log n. I hope you heard this order of. It's a big O notation. Big O, big omega, big theta, all these things you might have heard, right? N log n. Okay. Obviously, nothing but what? N is the number of edges and E is the number of, sorry, N is the number of nodes and E is the number of edges. Right? In case we can see that when you want to describe the running time of a force directed layout in terms of nodes, you can tell this in terms of nodes. Or if you want to describe the running time in terms of edges, you can use this order of E. Nothing but number of edges. It depends upon the number of edges. Okay. And it depends upon the n log n. You know log n, right? How it will work? Log n, how it will work? Like the value of this log n is depends upon number of digits, right? Number of digits in the n. That you hope you know aware of this. How the log n works? Okay, the value will be not the value exact value, the number of digits. It depends upon the number of digits. Yeah. Yes. Then the resulting diagram often expose the inherent symmetric and clustered structure of a graph. Okay, obviously the force direct layout will display in a clustered format. What are this clustering occurs and show a well balanced distribution of nodes with few edges crossing. So this is the advantage here. This one you can take as an advantage of force direct layout. Okay, few edges crossing over. So in such a way that the nodes are get displayed. Okay, no much crossing between the across the edges. Okay, so it will few edges crossing. That's it. Okay. It works rather well for most graphs where the number of edges is similar to the number of nodes. Yes, if there is a graph, it means that what? It's a sparse graph, right? Simple. If you're having 10 nodes, and if you having if in a graph, there are 10 nodes and the edges also 10, means what happens? Obviously it will is what? Sparse graph only. There is no much um, connectivity between the nodes. That is what is meaning. If nodes is equal to edges, means what? The graph is sparse. I told about the combination also, right? Choose 10 to choose 10 choose 2. Yeah, 10 choose 2. It was discussed earlier. How many links can be possible for in a friendship network, that we have discussed in the earlier classes, right? So this force direct layout will be very much suitable for a situation where the number of edges is equal to the number of nodes. For that situation, we can use this force directed layout. That is why the reason it is having few edge crossing well. Okay, dense graph with 2 edges are very sparse that barely have any structure tend not to work well. Yes, for a dense graph, obviously this will not be a optimal choice for the visualization, right? I hope you are following. So this is of the forced directed layout, just a small part of the graph. You can look over like this, how each and every square or considers what this is a node. Okay, how the edges are connected. A simple example of the forced directed layout. Are you following, guys? Next comes your tree layout. Basic tree layout is to choose a node as a root of tree. Okay, so from the name itself you can tell tree layout, right? You have studied the tree data structure very well. The tree data is how the tree looks like. Why, man? Why you are started scribbling? I know the person who is scribbling. Do you want me to disable the participant annotation? Okay, guys. So tree layout here. That's what we have studied, the tree data structure, how the tree, nodes are organized in a tree, that you know very well. The relationship is kind of parent child relationship, in such a way that the nodes are get organized. Okay, when you take tree, it's a parent child relationship. You have a base node as what? The root node, and the leaf node is called as what? Child node or a grandchild. Okay, that you call it as, that you know very well. So basic tree layout is to choose a node as the root of tree is, and the nodes connected to the root become children. It's obviously you know about this point. Nodes that are most levels away from the root become the grandchildren. Okay, fine. A tree layout can display a more structural layout than graph layout by considering more contextual information. So here, contextual information, nothing but in what context you are looking for. What is the what is the main agenda? What is the main what is the important characteristics, or what information you are looking into the graph, into the particular network, that will be displayed in what? Tree layout. Okay, and it is also a kind of more structural layout, a good structural layout. And for a better visualization, okay, there are again the tree layout is classified into 3 types. Okay, there are different variants of the tree layout. Just you have to by heart it. Okay, no other go, because when you take a node edge diagram, when we speak about node edge diagram, you have to tell what is node, what is edge, how they are connected, what is link there, what is the advantage of node edge diagram over the matrix representation. Okay, so all this will come under. It's not simple like why we are discussing. Once node edge diagram is done, then you have to tell how the node edge diagram can be displayed or visualized. Then visualization comes, the layout comes into picture. Again, visualization means what? Layout. Layout is what? Different types of layout, starting with random, then forced direct layout or spring layout, then tree layout. Then again, when you take tree layout, and also you have discussed the advantage and disadvantage of each and every layout. Okay. Again, we have three variants: hyperbolic, radial, H3. Okay, we don't want to dwell into that much on this. Okay, just I will show the representation of the layout. So that's what the main advantage is, that contextual information. This you have to keep in mind for tree layout. That's what the idea is. What? Focus plus context to better the visualization effect with animation technique and help users to obtain global and local view of a social network, right? Right. And H3 views. H3, this one will display the network in a 3D format. In a 3D format, H3 view will you can visualize the graph or network in 3D format, right? See, this is an example of tree layout. I've shown in a single slide. It's just a small example. So, just this is a three kinds of layout. One is hyperbolic tree view. This is hyperbolic. Okay. Second is what? Radial tree layout. This is radial tree layout. Okay. First is hyperbolic, radial, H3 view. Right. This is hyperbolic. First one is hyperbolic, radial. So you can find out how they are differentiated. The nodes are it's touching the circle. It is in the circle format. Okay. Right. And when you take this first diagram, see, you can consider that it looks like a tree. I am just making a partition of this network. It looks like a tree. This is acting as a what? Root node. All of it has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 childrens. Again, the children have many childrens. Okay, so this is what the tree layout. Fine. And radial, and this is the it resembles like a 3D view, right? H3 view. It is a H3 view. Then incremental layout. So I want to show a small picture is there, a kind of small video. Just I'll share it how the incremental layout works. Okay, incremental. Apart from this, we have increment layout. The algorithm places new elements on suitable position without changing the position of the existing elements. That is what here. A new user is creating an account in a Facebook. What it happens? It will not change the geometric location of the existing user. Okay. Then rather than what it happens, it try to fix or accommodate the new user to some other location without changing the layout, existing layout. That is what the incremental layout advantage. Okay. The feature leads to drawing results that preserve the user's mental map of the diagram. If from the mental map is retained, user's mental map is retained in case of incremental layout. I'll just show the incremental layout, how it works. 1 second. Okay. And some of the examples of layout we'll see, like what is it? Random layout. This is random layout, and forced direct layout. You can. I hope this is visible for you. I think it is clear. I made it as a big diagram only. Okay, this is a forced direct layout or spring layout. It makes a repulsive force between the two nodes. And Wi-Fi multi-layer layout. This is different case. See why this and all when you take this one, first example, why particular node is very much big and it is differentiated with color, because some structural properties is shown in the layout. Why it is color? Why it is very one? When you take this one, when you take this region, all the nodes are very small. When you take this region, all the nodes are big, little big. It means that there may be some depends upon the closeness property or betweenness property or embeddedness property or structural hole property. All this we have discussed. Embeddedness, or it may be like he's a monopoly where he's the only person I can contact him. There may be any reason. That is why it is showing with the structural property. Here the nodes are why it gets the varied. Why the nodes are differentiated, because based upon the structural property of a node, how they are connected. And this is one node. This is another big network. This is a layout of seamless learning visualization, SLV. That's what I told. There are many layouts are there. We don't want to concentrate on all the things. Just we'll take basic things alone, right? So this is an example of seamless learning visualization. Okay, fine. And visualization social networks with matrix-based representation. Yeah. So far we have seen edge, node edge, what? Node edge representation. Node edge nothing but the graph. Okay. Next is what? Matrix-based. So you have to answer all these questions. What is matrix-based? What is node link representation? Okay. This is matrix representation. You should be in a situation. You should be in a position to answer these questions. We have discussed a lot. Okay, that's why I have given in a single slide itself. I don't want to get into much on this matrix based. Okay, you have to know what is matrix based. What are these advantages? What is node link? What are these advantages? Okay, you have to know the drawbacks as well. Which is the best? Which one will you choose? Matrix or node link? Which one will you choose? So these are the things you have to discuss yourself. Okay, which should be preferable, either mode matrix diagram or node link diagram will be preferable for a particular network, or in the sense to visualize the network. You have to decide. Okay, so that depends upon the advantage and drawback. Okay, and this is what discussion on advantage and disadvantage of matrices and node link diagram. Okay, all this you have to discuss, and possibility of combining advantages of both representation and to support visual exploration of the social network. Okay, so this you can take it as in a homework. Okay, so you have to think over, like, if I am able to possibly to combine both the advantage and disadvantage, so that it will be helpful for me to better visualization of a network, social network, right? With this we are completing the second unit.